Hello again. I'm trying to get caught back up on the videos. It's definitely been a bit of a chore to keep these going with the work schedule and everything, but I'm going to try to get these caught up. This one's going to be pretty short actually. This will cover session 12, so I have the calendar showing over here to the right. And this has been updated with what we have actually done through the week of August the 12th. And then we've been off the last 3 weeks. Today is Sunday night, September 1st. So tomorrow is Labor Day. We will not be meeting. And then we'll meet again on the 9th. So I have technically 4 sessions, the 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th, to get caught up on. Today's video will cover session 12, and then I'm going to do one video that will cover 13 and 14 as they cover the same topic. And then I'll do a video for 15 where we started into context. And then really when we get back together on the 9th, we're going to be doing a review of the homework for lesson 6 before we transition over to a further or deeper look into dispensationalism. But if we come back to just kind of orient ourselves, for the past few weeks, we have been in word studies. We've been talking about word meanings. This was lessons or sessions 10, 11, and 12, which was lesson 10 in the book, Let the Text Speak. And it did cover videos 9, 10, and 11 from Rodmacher. And as you'll see in session 12, we really ended up watching in class Rodmacher's video 11. So here, let me do this. We really watched video 11 for session 12. And then had some discussion in the class in regards to synonym and antonyms. But Rodmacher covers it exceptionally well in the video. And it was a busy week for me. I didn't have time to prepare much, so we just took the easy way out and watched Rodmacher's video. So that said, if I come over to our handouts, the one we have, that we've been using for the past few weeks, again, this handout covers sessions 10 through 12 on word studies. We've been dealing with this initial notion of words have meanings, plural, kind of starting right here in the center. Lessons 13 and 14, we're going to be talking about the grammar aspect, clauses, sentences, and so forth. And then we're going to move into context in session 15. So we've already talked about the top part of this. Words have meanings, not meaning. Words have a beginning point, that is an etymology. Words can change over time. This was sessions 10 and 11, and there's already a video for those. So now in this video, for session 12, we covered synonyms and antonyms, and again all of this came straight out of Rodmacher's video. So this one is going to be nice and short from my standpoint. I just wanted to make it clear for anybody trying to keep up or catch up that what you'll need to do for session 12 is, instead of watching 45-minute to an hour video from me, you'll need to come over to the Rodmacher videos and watch. It's titled Session 13, but it is actually Hermeneutics 11, Word Meanings Part 3. So again, you're going to want to go to the Rodmacher video channel, and you're going to want to watch Hermeneutics 11, Word Meanings Part 3. This is the URL for it if you want to try and type all that in, but you should have the link to all of these. I think if we go to my channel, and we go into our hermeneutics playlist. Is it in the first one? Show more. I thought I had a link to the Rodmacher videos somewhere. That is a link to the Google Drive. Maybe the link, oh, that's right. The link to the Rodmacher video is in the Word document. It is right here. So in the calendar Word document, which is in the Google Drive, right? So if we come here to the Google Drive, from the Google Drive you can get to the calendar. If you open up the calendar, here will be a link to the Rodmacher playlist. And then from the Rodmacher playlist, that's where you're going to want to pick, go all the way back here. You're going to want to go to video 11 right here. That will be actually session 13, word meanings part 3. That sounded really confusing, so I hope you guys can find that okay. The bottom line is watch Rodmacher's Hermeneutics 11, word meanings part 3, and that will cover our session 12. That's what we did right here, session 12, back on July 15th. Which finished up our word studies, where we were talking about word meanings, covering antonyms, synonyms, all of this information here, synonyms, antonyms, and then some conversation around cross-references, looking at other passages of Scripture to help us study the particular passage that we're focused on. And then we did talk just a little bit about the law of first mention. This is a principle that the first time a doctrine is mentioned typically defines a core element of that concept that is not lost as the progressive revelation of the Bible unfolds. So the principle is pretty straightforward. It just means that the first time you run across a concept in the Scriptures, it kind of forms the core elements of that concept. Righteousness, marriage, rulership, things of that nature. When you run across them for the first time, in the Old Testament typically, they kind of form the core elements of that. And there may be more added to that when we get to the New Testament, but never in such a way that it does away with the original intent. So that notion, the law first mentioned, means it's very helpful to understand when a concept is first mentioned in the Scripture, understand the core elements of it there, as those will apply as you go along. So the doctrine can grow and develop, but the core concept remains the same. And one of the examples that was in the book, Let the Text Speak, was the notion of being chosen or elect, right? To choose or to elect. We go back to number 16 is where it's really the words are first used. But Genesis 12, 1 through 3 is where the concept first exists. And I believe it's Nehemiah 9, 7 that then references the concepts back in Genesis. And then, so when we see the notion of choosing and electing in Romans 9 and Ephesians 1, we can understand that the core concept of it really has to do with that notion of being chosen to service, especially from a national standpoint, talking about Israel, Abraham being chosen to create a nation that would be God's nation, the light among the other nations idea. So we talked a little bit about that law first mention as well, which is in the book. All right, that'll be it for session 12 video. The next two will get us caught up, and they're going to be a little bit longer as we have more new content to go through. See you there.